Now, Republicans are holding up progress on legislation for the COVID-19 outbreak by blocking a bill that funds efforts to help the country better weather a pandemic outbreak. So now Democrats have been trying to pass a bill that provides paid sick leave, expanded unemployment insurance, free testing for CV19, and even emergency aid for families who rely on things like free school lunches. And, because one of the issues where we're seeing school closures or the possibility of school closures for kids is that, well, a lot of these kids or some of these kids don't have enough food at home. And so they rely on getting those free breakfasts and free lunches. I was actually watching a stream and Representative Ayanna Pressley, and I believe Rashida Tlaib also brought up those two things, but it was definitely Ayanna Pressley who talked about this. And what kind of relief that families are going to see. Katie Porter also brought up, hey, how are we going to cover people for testing, et cetera? And so these are progressive champions asking important questions about how regular people are going to deal with the CV19 outbreak here in America. So now Republicans, again, led by Mitch McConnell in the Senate. So Senate Republicans, they're apparently not in favor of this piece of legislation and found a reason for them to oppose it. And that reason would be abortion. Abortion. Now, this is a Bloomberg News reporter, Eric Wasson, tweeted this out. He said, a key sticking point in the talks appears to be GOP demands to include Hyde Amendment language in the bill to prevent federal funds from being used for abortion. Really? What? What does this have to do with abortion? This entire bill, this has nothing to do with abortion. The Hyde Amendment is literally still there. I would like to get rid of it. But, I know somebody who definitely didn't want to get rid of it, and that was Vice President Joe Biden. I'm just saying. He literally supported the Hyde Amendment. So, but look, abortion? Really? Hyde Amendment? Really? This is what we're talking about when we're talking about trying to get relief for families stricken by possible medical costs from getting tested for CV, having to go into self-quarantine and missing out on paychecks, etc. But no, we're talking about fetuses now. Why? Well, it seems like to me definitely a way to, try to block this piece of legislation because Republicans really don't seem to want to help regular people, even in a crisis. But social media had some things to say about this. Jelly is my jam said, I see, saving fetuses over actual lives again. Now tell me who's pro-life. Well, look, they're not saving any fetuses. No, what they're doing, again, is that they're pro-birth, not pro-life, pro-birth. Ben Ritt says, how is that even relevant? It's a good question, to which Rhinosaurus Rex answers by saying, oppressing women is always relevant to the GOP. Always. Brain Genius adds, of course the GOP does this. They can go pound sand. Exactly. Charles Buchanan says, no global pandemic is going to knock them off their message that they hate women. Well, they hate uppity women. Let's be honest about that. They hate poor, uppity women, especially women of color, because those are the ones, of course, who are not able to access abortion services. Now, if you're wealthy and if you're white and you decide, oh, no, I want to go get an abortion, well, you're fine because you can go and use your money. You can fly anywhere else where it's legal and be able to get the abortion that way. That's why a lot of Republicans, I wouldn't say a lot, but there have been a few Republican congressmen, for example, Scott Desjardins, who famously urged his mistress, supposedly pro-life guy, to go and get an abortion when she got pregnant. Rich women, absolutely fine. Rich Republican women or mistresses of Republican men, perfectly fine to go get abortions, right? But poor women, and especially women of color, disadvantaged. By the way, women of color, and this doesn't get brought up nearly enough, they actually have a higher mortality rate in hospitals when they're giving birth. Again, that is an issue that needs to be massively rectified. We need to fix that. And of course, that's another part of this discrimination that we have against our system has against African American women, women of color and people of color, and abortion goes along with that. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, right? Angry Tot has his own suggestion here by saying, abort the senators. Fun. And then Rahaf adds, pandemic or not, we just need everyone to know that we really, really hate women. Yes. Well, message received, man. Message received. Look, how monstrous are these Republican congressmen? I mean, really, you're blocking these bills over something that's literally not an issue. This doesn't get rid of the Hyde Amendment. Nothing in here gets rid of the Hyde Amendment. Look, I wish we could, because again, the issues that I laid out, how only poor women are blocked from getting access to abortion and other reproductive care. Rich people obviously can. But what they're doing is they're just stopping a good response for no reason. Now, look, the Federal Reserve just today has pumped $1.5 trillion into the markets. We can fund that, but how are we going to pay for it? Nobody asked that. Nobody asked how we're going to pay for any of that. No. We've got to put emergency money into the markets, and then, because markets are more important than anything else, but we can't guarantee health insurance for everybody during right in the middle of a freaking pandemic. And so our priorities are extremely messed up. And so these Republicans, they prove that they're not pro-life. They're really more pro-forced birth and pro-letting poor people die. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.